Welcome to Trading Lounge and the daily US stocks for Wednesday, September the 14th, and just have a quick look at the NASDAQ first. Just waiting for this to come down. Not sure how far that will come down. Looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so might need to adjust that a little bit, but I'll just take it to here because it'll probably drift during the day a little bit, but we're looking for Thursday to be a corrective rally. Will it come back that high? I'm not quite sure, but it's a starting point, and we can put wave 2 there. We can also look to short in this box. There's a few different ways we can look to short this market, and we'll be looking for, it just may not get up there, just see how it goes. But the point being is that Thursday can be a corrective rally, with Friday and Monday being the bearish days coming down. So this leg here should be longer than this leg, so we can see that coming down a bit further here. We'll look at the bigger picture when we do the indices, but we're looking down for basically we're looking down from wave B up here down to wave C, which will be in 5 waves of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, but they'll be further down, but we'll look at all that later. The main point is really to short any rally, but as I mentioned, it may not go back that far, but as usual we could expect to bounce off a large number like that. So yeah, look, sometimes you can, depending where the B wave plays out, you can normally put a line through there. You can short below the B wave depending where that is. You can short in the box. I think it's always good to bring that down from 50% down to 40%, so into 400. But if you're going to go to 400, you might as well go to sort of 390. But the idea, this will be because it's a wave 2, it should be a simple structure, as a 5-3-5 structure. So really the idea is to count 5 waves within that move there. And yeah, but we'll talk about more of that with indices, but just to give you a general sort of look at things. So with Apple, we're going to look at the this is daily chart. We're going to look at the 1000 and the 100 tick, but we're also going to have a quick look at the bearish count as well. So this particular pattern we're looking at an A wave here, then an A and a B and a C wave here for the B wave, and down for the C wave. Now if I've got this wrong, then this big B wave would come over to here and would be coming down for the C wave, which would take us down a fair bit further. So if we could imagine this sort of length here, then will take us down further towards the 100 there. So what we've been looking for is wave A to come down into the box, and then wave B to go to the box, and then wave C. I've got this down here at the square root of 61.8%, the 78.6, so it's just a bit of a rough guess, but what we're actually looking for is 5 waves, and we just counted wave 1 with the NASDAQ, so we'll look for wave 2, and then we'll go 3, 4, 5. Now we also need to be mindful this could come down further through here. So on that case, we've got a bearish count here, and this will be the same for all the other stocks. So I always spend a little bit of time on Apple, just really to give a sort of a picture of things, but it is the same with most other stocks. Certainly there's a few stocks that are in different patterns, NVIDIA, Square, Meta, but this is the general consensus that I like to work with. So in this case here, we've got the A wave here, a B wave here, and then in this case we come down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 1, back for wave 2, and then go down for wave 3. So this wave 3 will be, kind of like this, and then there'll be a 4 and 5, so a 4 and a 5 to come down further. So it does take us down further. Now maybe I'll be able to work it out what we've got along the way. That will depend on the sort of personality of the structures, but Yeah, in both cases, we're going to have 5 waves down, and in this case, we'll have 3 waves back up. But in the other case, we'll have 5 waves back up here somewhere, and then we'll go down. So a bit of a dogleg in all of that. Will that occur? I don't know, but we just, as always, we just need to be aware of the counts, and we need to know at what point one is validated and one is not, and we need, some places we need to be a bit cautious and so on. But yeah, so they're both kind of the same to a point, so we don't have to worry too much. Okay, so let's go back to the other count, but we're just going to start on the 1000 tick area here, and so this is where we were looking yesterday on this. So it's just 1000 ticks, so not a lot of detail here, but we are looking for that wave 1 here to come in and bounce off the low here. And in the bullish weekly cycle, we normally have Wednesday, and well, with Wednesday today, isn't it, and Thursday. So Thursday in the bullish market is normally a bearish day, but in this bearish market here, we can expect Thursday to be part of this correction here. So what I'm saying here is that Wednesday and Thursday are the swing days that you need to be careful of, because they'll take your stops out, and then we should see Friday and Monday and Tuesday push on down. Okay, so they're the sort of days, and it's a good to understand that bullish weekly cycle. I should really create the bearish weekly cycle too, which is just the opposite, but I should make that a bit clearer. But the bullish weekly cycle's on our website, and it's quite handy really, because it's just something that you can tie into the wave count and the trading levels, just to give another layer of confidence in things. Because if you see it happening on those days, well then it just it just reinforces your analysis, whatever that may be at the time. Anyway, we can expect a bounce off the old lows here, and then we can look for a retracement back. But let's just go to the 100 ticks and take a closer look at that and do a bit of work on that. So you may be short here, because we're looking to go short under the wave 4 and pretty much with most of these markets, but I didn't draw green lines in all of them. But what we're looking for here next is, I think this is pretty close to be finished down here. I haven't done that little structure there, but you can make the adjustments as necessary. But what we need to do is just stick a few flags in the ground. So that's the 50%. Yeah, I'd probably tend to bring that down a little bit further really, but we're going to turn it green as a possible trigger, so we can put that there. And we're going to look for the A wave. So Wednesday is like a V-shaped day, but in reverse. B and C here. Look, we probably, it's always funny, isn't it? You think, oh my God, is it ever going to get up there that high, but it's funny, they just do it somehow. So I mean, obviously there's going to be short covering on this, which creates the A wave nice and sharp. That's what sort of normally happens. Will it go from this dot here? I don't know. Like I said, I haven't pulled that apart there, but that's what we're looking at here. So if you wanted to either take all profit or take percentage down here and then put that percentage back in up here, all those sorts of things, I tend to sort of bring that down a bit further, but we'll have a look at it tomorrow. We'll see where it is. We'll see how it is. I mean, normally we would find the A wave quite sharp because of the short covering and taking out stops and things. How far it comes up to this consolidation, to this level, I don't know. And then back again 50-60%, and then up. And yes, it can certainly go above there. But if we gravitate to the 160 and the 158, the 8's important, the 160's important. So I think, somewhere around that 160 would be would be good at that point. And obviously, you can put a line through there, and you can short it through here as well. All of those, there's many roads to Rome. Sometimes I just like looking at the price over here and going, okay, well, my bet amount is, $10, so I'll put that into 4 bets on the side, and I'll do that at each of these, large numbers here, that type of thing. That's a nice, easy way out, and works out pretty fine. The other little thing here is that when you've got a trend line here, normally we talk about the trading levels going this way. Well, it's the same on the angle here as well. So when this comes down here, it will bounce off that and then come through here and then go back and retest it and then come down. So the safe trade is here. But if you can count the structure down here, you might be able to short over here. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you know what you're doing and where you are, but if you don't, then you have to go to safety all the time. And also too with the, let's just say that's like that. Sometimes you get a second retest on these things depending on the wave structure. So this, don't put your stop at that one, always put it at the top, out the way until you get going. Okay, so anyway, just shooting the breeze a little bit there. Anyway, we've wrapped on about this enough, but all the other stocks are going to be the same as this. Okay, so I don't need to draw all this on the other stocks. These are all the things that we need to look at. Hopefully, if we get 5 waves in this one here, which normally a wave 2 is a 5-3-5 structure. So the idea would be to count 5 waves in this last little move here. And, if you're unsure to take a bet, well, then just make the bet size much smaller, so it actually doesn't, it's tricky really, because when you put on you normally got your amount that you put on, and then if you put just a little tiny bit on, it has no interest for you. It's a very emotional game, this, so we always tend to push the envelope a lot. So you just got to be mindful of the cross that you drag it across the floor. Okay, so that's that. So it's the same here as well for NVIDIA. We're going to be looking for a low in here, and we're also going to be looking for that bounce coming into play. Will it come back up to this high? I'm buggered if I know, but you've got to stick the flag in the ground somewhere, and we'll be looking for an ABC correction. Now the 8 here, normally you can tell, because say if the A wave came up here and then the B wave came back, well, the C wave here is normally sort of just a pinch of salt, but sort of the same length. And then you kind of go, okay, well, that's the same length, and 8's an important number, so it might just come to there. So I might put a little short on here, and if it goes up to here, I'll short, but that's the 50-60% retracement level. If it goes past that, then I'll get out. But then if you're going to get out, look for a classic trading levels pattern. Look for the first high above the level, right? And then put your stop on top there. And then when you get your second high, then you can bring your stop down to the second high. To me, this is a game of taking the next logical step rather than just getting out at the 40. Do you know what I mean? You have to play it out. And sometimes it doesn't always work, but you get a better price. It's like this, you wait for this, so your stop is there, and then you get your second high and you go to here, but you saved a little bit, It's a bit like that, really. It's, sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. Okay, so I don't need to harp on any more about that. And Amazon will be the same as well. So we'll be looking for some type of corrective move here. So I'm thinking late Thursday afternoon for the short. Okay, so we'll see how that'll be the third wave down. Thursday afternoon looks pretty good to me at this point. Same here as well. I'm not sure where that low is here for Meta, but looking for, I could balls this right up and it could come down here further and then have the bounce. It could be things like that. So it doesn't really matter. We want that rally because, if this is wave 1, well, then this wave 3 here is going to be longer than wave 1. It could be shorter, and then wave 5 would need to be shorter still on that note, So, but we should be coming down further. We need to make a new low down here somewhere. So anyway, I'll just put these out of the way. I'll put them like this because when the program closes, it just pushes them all back over here. But if they're like this, then I can just drag them across again. So yeah, I mean, once again, do the same thing. We may or may not see the 50-60% retracement level if we take it from that point, you know. But that should be a pretty sort of simple structure to the upside, but we'll be onto that tomorrow. It'll be the A wave will be pretty quick to the upside, but then the rest of it should be pretty smooth. So once this finishes here, I think there's a bit more to come down here, but once it finishes here, that wave A will snap back, and then the wave B will take its time, and then the wave C will be a little bit like, you know, howdy doody, be a bit sort of lazy. So yeah, and that's where you need to short. Enphase is in its own world, so we don't need to do anything with this. Yes, I'm expecting it to come down. It can come down to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, or it can come to the 38.2% retracement level, but still another move to the upside. I was thinking though that, you know, it's possible that this is just wave 1 here and 2 here, and then going up for 3, 4, and 5. So that's possible at that point. But I wouldn't get too excited and carried away with that. It's not going to go to the moon or anything, because it's going to come back again and give us that situation there. And I was also thinking too that if I've made a mistake, so I need to do a little bit more work on it, because this wave 5 here, let's just say that the market does come down here a bit. That wave 5 here of just 3 bars or 4 bars here has no real relationship with this one here, but it does have a relationship with this one of 3 or 4 or 5 bars here. So I'm thinking that do I have this as a mistake? Should this be 1 and 2 here and 3, 4, 5 here just for the third wave here, and then we have a fourth wave back to this one, and then have the fifth wave up here, and then come down again? So I just need to, I want to double check a few things when I've got a bit of time to do this. But I can also say too that it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter, because the price will eventually get to 4 and above, and the thing to do is really to do any buying under the 270 to 250. Whatever happens, that's where the buying should be, because we'll end up there. So, but I'll just double check this thing in here, because this has got a relationship to this wave 1 here rather than this wave 1. But I'll just see in here. I can see that this is corrective, and it'll more likely come down. But yeah, anyway, we'll get to that. Tesla, so this should be quite interesting, really. We can short the low here. I wouldn't short the retest here just yet, because oh yeah, no, that's okay, I think. Yeah, no, it's okay. We can short the low here on that. We should see some sort of retest and then down at this point. I was just wondering if it can still go up. You know, I do have a bit of a bullish count for that, but I think we're okay, good to go here. But it could make a new high here. Yeah, on this one here, just short the low here when it comes, and we'll have a look at it tomorrow, just in case it has one more move up here. Okay, that's sort of just bugging me a little bit, that one. And Alphabet here, the same sort of thing. You can see a nicer sort of 5 wave thing happening here. And yeah, I mean, the only mistake I can imagine myself making is having wave 2 already in here like that, and then we have this is down for 1 here, back for 2, and then going down at that point. I mean, it's a bit slim. I don't think it's the case, but it has crossed my mind a little bit. It's just hard to see inside some of these things sometimes. But let's just see. And maybe you're short under the 110 as well here. I think we may have talked about that. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, probably. Microsoft, so we've got that, the A, the B. This is quite a typical count, having this as the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave up here. I mean, even Bitcoin is like this. It worked out for Bitcoin like this, and yeah, other stocks as well. Not all stocks. Alphabet wasn't like that. Mind you, I could probably squeeze that into that, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So yeah, off this low here for Microsoft, or off the 250. I'm not quite sure yet how this is going to drift down, but it doesn't really matter anyway. We still need to see that wave 2 to take on the next short, unless you're short under here somewhere. And Berkshire Hathaway, it's got a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down here. We may not be at the low yet, but we're close. We're close, you know. So that wave 2 that you can short there if you wanted to, but this is not going to give you the best downside. I mean, it will move down and everything, and that's all cool, but it's not going to give you the best range in the market, you know, because I'm going to bring that down to 40% there onto this old high here, because yeah, I mean, it's just a, you know, it's just a good stock in that regard. It's, low volatility stock, you know. So yeah, the downside, I mean, it will come down, but it's not going to give you the range that some of the other markets could give you. Still, it doesn't hurt to short it. Now with block, as you know, I don't know, we're talking about having wave 4 here or wave B here for this. So I haven't had time to ponder it. So, but what I can say is that the same story will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down here further. Don't worry about these targets that I put down here like this. They're not, they haven't been worked properly. It's just a guess based on the first wave, just eyeballing it. But yeah, so don't look at that and go, is that 55.5 or something like that. I'm a lazy trader, so I'm a lazy analyst as well, and just generally lazy person. So yeah, don't take those targets as anything serious at that point. I can see that this has got 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4, so it still needs to come down a little bit, and then it will retest that 72. Looks like it's going to play out a little bit further, so anything above the 72 you can short at that point if you wanted to short the retest of that. And of course there will be a bounce off the 65. And over to the banks. So the banks, I just put a little bit of detail in here because it was a little bit nicer. So we've had a nice little impulse wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, back for 2, down for 1, back for 2, down for 3, 4, and 5 here for the third wave, and ABC for the fourth. Or could I put that there? It looks like it's taken out the top, so that's there. So I haven't looked at this, but I can see we've got 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're close. There's a little bit more to come down here somewhere, probably 33.80. So there'll be a bit of overflow on the open, I guess, or in the after, on the curb trading, whatever they call it. So, but yeah, once you've got that low, then you can work out your 50-60%. And yeah, so that's I don't think it's going to come back and cover that gap at that point. But the main takeaway here is that we can all clearly see that we've got a nice 5-wave structure to the downside. So that means that we're going to have another move down here. So we're on track. And JP is the same as well. We probably don't have that low in here just yet, but it's close. And then we'll look for some sort of corrective rally. It looks like it might be short here anyway, but you might be short in a lot of the stocks. So just depending on things Might come back up and cover that gap, or may not. But the 50-60% or 62%, somewhere be down here, might drop a bit further. We'll see. So yeah, I don't think it will cover that gap. I think I'll just go back to 119 probably. 118, so 18 is the big number here. And Goldman. So I haven't really done a lot of labeling on Goldman's, but yeah, the same thing here as well. I can kind of see a nice structure here. So there's going to be a bounce off this low here. So you can look to short that retracement at that point. So yeah, you want to be shorting this rally with all of this. And this should take us down to the 300 here. So it'll be something like this, you know. And as I mentioned before, you know, we can look at this as wave 2 here for this. That's possible. So we could make this, you know, as an A and a B and a C down here for the B wave. Then we're looking for this to move up at that point for wave C. But the difference will be that on the downside, we could also look for a wave 4 here as well. So we'll be mindful of that, but don't have to worry about it today. But yeah, we need to talk about it more and how we're going to handle it. And I just want to see how things look, you know. If the first thing I want to see is I want to understand if there's going to be any equality between the length of structures, or what that is, you know. So that's the length of wave A, and this is the length of wave C here. That will give them equality at that point. A bit hard to see that sort of happening. So really need to take that from there to there. Okay, we'll just see the length of this anyway. We'll see the speed and the length. I mean, this is going to be pretty quick anyway, you know, in both cases, you know, it's going to be a bit quicker, but anyway, we'll see. I mean, this wave 1 here was news driven. Reminded me of when the Fed spoke. Remember when they spoke last time and we had that quick move down, and then it got messy down the bottom here. So it might be in that sort of picture again as well. Alrighty, I'll leave it all at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.